Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is we try to bring about conversations of a psychological, emotional, and mental health paradigm. We try to do that as often as we can. I know I've been lax over the last week or two, but that's because I'm planning a move that I didn't expect, and so um, life has been a little chaotic. I'll give you more information on the move as it draws closer, or if it draws closer, and I have the opportunity to do so. But till then, we're going to continue to add to this as often as we can, sometimes several times per week, and ultimately try to make the world a better place by default. If you are looking for steps to success, that is, ways to make yourself more successful overall in ways that you may be undervaluing or underestimating, this is a great way to, and a great channel to be able to do that with. If you are looking to do that on a more practical level and work with somebody, would love to be of assistance to you in that way, as I've done that for thousands of people over the years, and would love to do that for you. But steps to success: how can we make ourselves more successful is the main undercurrent of this particular audio. And there's a couple ways to do that, certainly many ways to do that, but if you're looking to do that, please feel free to reach out. At PO Perception on Twitter and or the About Me section on this YouTube page. Either one will get you in touch with me or a member of my team and ultimately lead you to a place that is positive. The first is dream. Dare to dream. Dare to think bigger. Dare to think about the things that you think are impossible. Dare to think about the things that you think you'll never get to. Dare to think about things that ways to solve problems that you don't even think you have a way to get to. When you give yourself permission to think ahead of yourself, and that's the next thing is think ahead of other people, think ahead of yourself, think about one or two steps ahead of where you are, not because necessarily you don't want to enjoy the moment, but because when you can plan ahead and step ahead, then you can live ahead of others, meaning you can be in alignment with the type of person you want to be and get to a place that makes a whole lot more sense for you, both in the long and short run. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have every answer. It also doesn't necessarily mean that you always have to be ahead. But the times that you take time to get ahead, mentally, emotionally, the needs of others, the more successful you're going to be, because those who are ahead, those who are on the leading edge, those who are on the cutting edge, are the people that make bigger progress and bigger leaps. And ultimately, know what your ethical standards are, know what your boundaries are, and don't let other people cross them. Now, that doesn't mean you won't be challenged from time to time. Certainly you will, but at the end of the day, the reality is when you begin to understand your value, when you begin to understand what matters to you and what doesn't, the rules you're about to break, the rules you're not willing to break, the rules you're willing to bend but not break, the things you'll break once in a lifetime, and the things that will never be broken. These are things that you begin to understand value are values to you, and when you understand them well enough that you won't compromise them, when you understand them well enough to know the ones you can compromise on, your life will become easier by default. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have every answer. It just means that in the end you will have answers to how to move forward in a meaningful way. Take calculated risks as often as you can. Notice I said calculated, meaning plan for your risks. Plan for what you will do if things go wrong. Plan for what you will do if things go right. Plan for what you will do for the unforeseen or things that you don't think are coming but could. The more planning you do around risks, the easier it is to recover when you get killed, knocked off kilter. I remember in broadcasting, basically what was said to me when I started broadcasting was, number one, you have a blank canvas. Number two, you have a blank canvas to mess up on or to thrive on. Choose to find ways to thrive and know how to fill time. When you know how to fill time in an entertaining way, when you know how to take educated risks, you'll accomplish more out of life. Find what makes you happy and make time for it every day. These are the successful people of the world. Now, it doesn't mean that you get so lost in your happiness that you don't accomplish the things you don't want to do or the responsibilities that you have. But even if it's 15, 20, 30 minutes a day, find time for things that make you happy on purpose, because if you don't get to a place where happiness and your own satisfaction becomes at least central to what matters to you, you will quit before you achieve your goal. You will quit before you reach what it is you want to out of life. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that's good. That doesn't necessarily mean that's bad, but it will be part of your life experience in a way that you don't want it to be. And if you're trying to avoid the negativity of getting involved in situations that you don't really want to be in, the best way to do that is to make darn sure that you have time for your own happiness. Work the plan of your life, meaning understand that planning for things, good, bad, and indifferent, and ugly, and unforeseen, and delays is important, but work the plan every day. Have checklists or ways that you check in with yourself to make sure that you're making progress. Find ways to be passionate about the things that you need to accomplish. Know that you cannot accomplish anything if you don't believe in yourself, but also know that if you're checking off even 1% of your plan accomplished, you're doing more than most people, because the people that don't plan are the people that falter. The people that don't plan are the people that fail. So when you begin to want more out of your life, begin to understand the value of stepping into a better place to be. The last is empower others. Always take time whenever you can to make a difference for other people, whether it's a kind word or giving them a dollar burger from McDonald's or whatever the case is. It doesn't really matter what you do. It's just a chance to empower, because the energy of empowerment that you put out will eventually come back to you. And trust me, life will throw you curveballs, and you're going to need it from time to time at the times you least expect it. So when you get into the habit of getting to a place where you begin to understand the value of all that you're doing, the easier it will be to get where you need to be. Ultimately, there are interesting ways to go about things with life. There are interesting ways to get to where you want to be. And just being compliant with your own progress is important. So in any event, make sure that you are compliant with that process. And so ultimately the next thing is to understand how to make the most out of every moment and just live your moments well. So hopefully this is helpful and meaningful to you, and you get to a place where you're getting more out of life. And until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.